Hello. Good evening. My name is Obindako. I want to share with you business mindset. When we started thinking about business and learning how to build company, there's that much that we didn't know, and there was not that much information that we had in terms of knowing which industry to enter, and which industry that we had the expertise in, and which industry that we had the passion for, and which industry that our economy really needed. And so there was a problem with the understanding of the economy. There was a problem with the understanding of ourselves. There was a problem with the understanding of the business itself, the product that we decided to offer, and everything. And then about 5 years down the line, 6 years down the line, we have got to learn some few things that we think that if we had them from the beginning, we would have, started on a better note. And those are some of the things that we think that we could share with you. For instance, when you are starting, and let's say you start in an industry like ours, like the engineering and the construction kind of industry, if you're not experienced in managing people, if you're not experienced in understanding the economy, project kind of business is not a business that you should readily go in as a startup, especially if you are going to do it with some bit of credibility, with some bit of ethics. Then it's not a place for you, because the days are, for instance, you would have to spend a lot of money, before you get paid. You would have to spend you would have to, even the processes that we go through before we get the job, the processes that we go through before we get a job, they are enormous, and a lot of them are not clean, and there's a high cost, all the documentation that you have to have before you are given the project, or the cut corners that you would have to do before the project is given to you. And beyond that, there's a lot of guarantees that performance bond, bid security, even if you are given the contract, mobilization guarantee, all those. I am of the opinion that construction project, those are not those are not the areas for people who are just starting business. Unfortunately, people don't know that, so they will start a business in that kind of area, and before you see it, they are in a big trouble. So my understanding is that if you are not experienced, if you are not astute, if you're not well connected, project kind of business is not something that you would have to easily go into. The other thing is that beyond the technical understanding of the business, say if it's an engineering project, you would have to have engineers who understand it, understand every bit of it, and then you would also have to have good managers, good business managers, not just project managers, good business managers who can manage the business well into profitability. And the chain is that long, for you to understand a lot of things. And the biggest, and you happen to deal with bulk figures right from the beginning. And if your understanding of money is not that much, then you see that you will just be in trouble from the word go. And so I would say that you better understand the services that you are starting as a business person, or the product that you are starting. And bulk business, where you pump a lot of money in and then just one person decides to pay you, is not a business for children. It's not a business for children. It's a business for people who have done businesses for a while, because you are going to put money into somebody's project, and if there is disagreement, you have 2 million lock in a project, you have 10 million lock in a project, you have 5 million lock in a project, and you struggle, and there are a lot of financial engagements. There are a lot of financial engagements. There are a lot of guarantees that you would have raised towards the project, and if you don't understand these things, you will be in a big trouble. So construction projects, business, engineering kind of business, I would say that if you are the first time business person, get to develop a product, get to develop a service that you don't depend on one person to give you bulk money, where you are able to spread your revenue, the sources of your revenue that quickly. I think you have a better shot in terms of you being a successful business person at your first business than depending on a friend or on a brother to give you a project as a contractor right from the beginning of your business life. I don't think that's a good way to start a business. That's my opinion. I think that after you have done some bit of businesses, it could be a good place to also add up to your business, because then you would have become a very good business person with proper understanding of how businesses are run. So you would have to believe in the product that you start with. If you're starting beyond just project kind of businesses, understand the product, understand the services, learn how the money is generated, and learn how to build the business that runs the business. The business that runs the business, the passion that you're going to set, your vision that you're going to set, who are the people who are going to lead the businesses, what are the systems involved, and you, the leader, you would have to have some bit of self-belief, and if you should have that ability to stay with the pain, with the process, and to make sure that it works out, and you cannot do it all alone. Your ability to learn how to lead the team is very important. Your ability to learn how to use the technology in the field is also important, and you being able to improve the systems, the structures, the changes that come along is very important. If you can be taught to get a job, I think that you can also be taught to start a business. You can be taught to start a job, you can be taught to also start a business. And it is not so special, to be an entrepreneur. You just have to have the guts, to keep going. You just have to have the guts to keep going, and don't exaggerate your mistakes, because everybody else is going to learn along the line anyway. And be comfortable with controversy and disagreement around just the time that you start your business, because those things are going to come anyway. And then you should be able to think opposite what the culture is pushing on you, because not many in the culture has done business, and so a lot of the things that your lifestyle will portray will not be understood from the beginning, from the family, from the friends. And entrepreneurship is not really about getting rich that quickly. It's about a process that you are trying to add value to the market, creating market share and bringing business and creating employment, and out of that, if you continue to do it, then you will be able to get some money and hopefully you become very rich, but it's not that straight path that is just going to get you money right away. There is a lot of things that you are going to learn, and if you're able to learn them well, then you will succeed. And many people in this world really don't know what it is as entrepreneurship, so to say. Very few who have done it will be able to understand you, and it is more than just better product and better service. It's really a dream that you're living. It's really a system that you're building. It's really a whole different phenomenon that you are trying to do with your life. So entrepreneurship is a good place. Some of the businesses that you can start as an entrepreneur, it can be I talk about it, construction projects kind of business, and I think that is not for babies. I think that you should be an astute business person before you enter such areas, but you can enter in terms of retailing in those areas. In terms of retailing construction products, it's a good place to start if you so want to develop good understanding. Engineering projects, same. The components are not many. If you're just selling something, or you're developing the product in the construction industry and you're selling it, it's far easier than just taking a project, because when you're selling, say, cement, a lot of people depend on that, so you can get revenue coming in across board. But if they give you 2 million project or 5 million project and just one person is paying you and you don't understand it and there's a hit, just one person is paying you 5 million and he decides not to pay you, there's a big trouble. So, and you can enter into retail of any product at all. That's also a good place to start a business. Agriculture, and sales of anything, agro processing. Some people would even go to real estate, but I think that our economy and real estate, they don't match. So you should know your figures well before you enter into what they call real estate in our economy, because houses are being sold around 400,000 Ghana cedis, and I don't know how many people are paid that much to access a mortgage or to even pay those houses outrightly. And so you would have to come up with a product that will suit this kind of environment, and leadership is required if you want to build any business at all. And how you lead yourself and you lead your team is so important, and you would have to be constantly be looking for knowledge and updating yourself as a business person. Your team number one asset, your team is your number one asset, and so you continue to develop them. It's a good thing. It's not just saying it. You have to develop the team. You should have a culture that the team believes in you and you believe in them. There's no need to put anybody on board if they don't believe in you and you don't believe in them. It's not good for a startup team to have that, and you should be ready to correct the processes and forgive people and be kind to people and be nice, but then you should also be fair, and you have to lead the team with your heart. Lead the team with your heart. Build a team that wants the best for everybody, and have one common goal to achieve, to make sure that the business works, and don't worry if things go wrong, and as they would always go wrong. So those who come in to help you, make sure that you structure the business that they will be people of character, and character is everything. Your character as a business leader, your character for your team and everybody, because if they don't have character, then they will do anything just for the money. And how do you handle your time as a business person? It's also important. You don't just waste your time because you don't have that much to go through all the things that you need to go through, and solve problems, because business is about problem solving. And be ethical in all your dealings, and handle people with care, and don't lose the passion for the business. If you don't have the passion for the business, you will not have the right vision for the business as well. So the passion is very important. It's a guarantee that you're going to continue to work through the challenges to make sure that the business will work. So if you lose that passion, you will lose your ability to recreate the business. And then continue to educate yourself. Read books, watch videos, use the internet, read about business, read about the finances, read about everything that will help you for your business to succeed. You cannot continue to build business if you're not reading, if you're not updating your knowledge all the time, because it's going to be tough somewhere along the line, and that which is going to help you. Just a minute, please. Hey, Marie. sorry. And if an African like myself, I would encourage you to get some sense of history as well. Read, get some perspective. Read history, and not just about colonization and slavery, because you will need some bit of identification, some bit of self-centeredness, some bit of self-consciousness, because a lot of garbage has been pushed on Africans, and there's some bit of doubt among Africans compared to the other races, so you need some kind of history to keep you centered and focused. I am of that opinion. So our perception of the world and how the world sees Africa has affected our self-esteem and our self-identity. And entrepreneurship is tough. So if you doubt yourself, then you're not going to be a good entrepreneur, because your decisions are always going to be in doubt if you doubt yourself. And so read some bit of history and encourage yourself that if an African, you are not disadvantaged, or you're not cursed, you're not inferior to anybody. And you are not better than any other person too. You're just human being. We should be treated with dignity and with respect. And so you do away with this kind of thinking of you being a victim. If you have problems, you just have to solve the problems as any other people will solve the problems. And so you take time to develop yourself as an entrepreneur. You build yourself, you create value for your business, and you just have to know how you're going to understand your family and your friends. They may not understand your business when you start. They may not understand your business when you start, but some of them will not give up on you even though they don't understand what you're doing. You should understand that not many people have started to build business. Not many people have done it, especially in our country. Generally, the best that they have done is trading, and now you want to build a business or run a product with all these complex structures. Not many people have done it, so you should just encourage yourself and keep moving and get associated with people who have done it, and expect a lot of people don't expect you to finish school and want to start a business. What they want you to do is to finish school, get a job, and marry, and then live the life that everybody is living. But how about if you don't find a job, or how about if you're ambitious to own something? So some people are just ambitious. They want to own something, and therefore they want to start something. They want to start a business. They want to try something. So and it's different. It's very, very much different. Creating a job or creating businesses is far more different from just having a job. They are nowhere close. Having a job, you don't even think about your salary. You think somebody else is thinking about your salary. But when you have a business, you're thinking about the survival of your business for the first few years, and then how to get money to pay your salaries and keep the business growing, and all kind of problems can come from anywhere, so those are the things, and and the lives of your employees are also are linked to yours, so to say, so you can play. And sometimes it's not, and then you have to also school yourself into understand some terms like vision, character, team, profits, losses, asset, what they call liability, cash flow. Cash flow is everything to the business, how the business is making money and how the business is spending money. If you screw that, you screw a lot of things, and yet those are not the things that you get to understand right from the beginning, so then you should understand how you're going to raise capital for the next business phase, and then how do you understand loans, the social security people, the taxes, and the city officials and all that. For instance, if you start business, our credit is that high, it's costly. 30%, 40%. Microfinance are charging maybe 60%. That's not the best way to start your business. So if I were to start business again, if I were to start that as a new person, I will not look at that option at all. I will just close it and maybe look at how I'll build the business model to a stage where I understand the whole business before I will even look at any credit at all. Any credit beyond 20%, I will not even look at it, because then you can save yourself. So these are some of the things that you would have to learn as you go along, and there's some other terms that you would have to really be diligent in knowing. Something like sales is how you make revenue. And so if you are going to learn how the sales process works, whether it's a direct sales, if your business model is retail approach or it's a direct sales product that you're selling, what are the things that you're going to do to make your sales team very good and continue to bring the sales? The things, how do they handle the objections that the customers come up with? How do they get the product knowledge? All this you would have to come up with them, and yet you are one person. Your marketing strategy, how are you going to brand the company? Your promotions, how do you negotiate with your team, with your suppliers, with your creditors? How do you present your business to another person who doesn't even know your business? The social media, the website, the flyers. How do you understand finances? How do you even understand the entrepreneur's life itself? Bookkeeping, the management, and all this. You should understand that all these are going to come up at you, and you would have to learn them right from as you go along. And people have done it, so you all can do it. and it depends on the speed at which we are learning. And then sometimes they come up with fate issues, so people start business, it's not working, and they are looking at maybe some demon is working at them, and you see all kind of people coming to give you advice and trying to identify the cause of your business challenges. If you have business challenges, a lot of them are just physical, they are not spiritual, I think. And so it's just depending on your understanding of the business, your understanding of yourself, your understanding of finances, things like that. The moment you're able to increase those things, the moment you're able to understand those things, I think that you'll be able to handle your business well. It's not strange, it's not anything. Those are things that people have understood and have worked it. So when you meet challenges, that's not the time to find blame and look for ancestral case and all those things. No, a lot of them are just processes and procedures and typical business issues that if you get better, those things will get better. So if you're going to use fate at all, use fate to your advantage, not to your disadvantage. Use fate to equip you to live above the challenges and come out with solutions, and not to make you weak and make you a weak person. So that is my understanding of how entrepreneurship should be. So if you can find, my name is Selvin. I'm trying to share with you business mindset and the things that we think that we should have had before we started the business. And I'm saying that if you are going to start a business that is capital intensive, and that's project kind of business, that like the way we started, I will not encourage you to use it as your first business. Especially if you're going to build a business which is ethical, you're going to practice ethics and character and honesty. That is not the place to start, especially in our kind of economy, because the way the projects are sourced, there are a lot of compromise, and the way the payment is structured, there's a lot that can go wrong, and then everything in between. So I would say that get a product, get a service, and develop a market share that you can get people, many customers coming to buy from you. That is the best way to start a business, and that is what we did with our sales business, and I think it is doing far better, because then it depends on your innovation, on your ingenuity, on your growth, on your ability to train a team, on your ability to build business structures and develop product and services and stretch yourself, because there's no much control. One person is not controlling the revenue, and one person is not controlling the jobs that are coming in. And I think that's the best way to build a business, at least the first one. Later you can go into the bulk and to the government negotiations and things like that. And if you're going to be an entrepreneur, then I believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Build a business that reflects your philosophy and your principles, and if you cannot, the thing is that you're not going to do the business alone. You're going to get people to come to help you. So you might as well develop your business skills, your business talent, and how to manage people, and use technology to your advantage. Social media is there, or the softwares that people are developing. Get to use them to your advantage. They will help you to grow better. And if jobs can be taught, entrepreneurship, I think, can be taught, especially when it is started. You can learn the best practices and be the best at what you do. And don't exaggerate your mistakes, because they will come, and they don't have to kill you. Don't live a comfortable life as an entrepreneur, because it's an oxymoron. It doesn't work. All right, and entrepreneurship is not there to make you rich quick. It's a process that if you master, then you can be rich. But more importantly, you are adding value to society, you are creating jobs, and hopefully you get money alongside. And many people in this world don't know the life of an entrepreneur per se, and so don't wish that you be understood. If you're not understood, don't worry about it. At least you know that it's different. And so there are different kinds of businesses that you can get into. The retail, there's agriculture, there's real estate, there's sales, there's processing, there's manufacturing, all kind of businesses. But become a better leader in trying to run your business, and then learn how to lead the people, set visions for yourself, milestones, and express yourself well to your people, and learn to lead from your heart and with passion and with respect, and let people be human. Don't control people to just your benefit, and don't worry if they leave, some other ones will come all the time. And the more you better yourself, the more the quality ones will come, and hopefully the more they will also stay and be part of the vision that you are building. And character is everything. Your foundation of you building this business is character, so don't compromise on a lot of things. Don't compromise on a lot of things. As much as you can, be credible, be trustworthy, and know that that's the foundation of what you're building. And so handle your time well, handle the stresses well, solve problems, and use the passion to fuel your activities, and build with that sense of vision, that sense of purpose, and then educate yourself. Read, stabilize your mind, and create value for yourself and for your people. Build your self-esteem and understand the journey that you have embarked. It will help you. And don't think like you're a victim if you meet challenges, because you can solve them. Okay, and then understand your society, understand your friends, and understand your family. Understand that some of the things that you'll be doing, some of the attention that you are creating, will only be for the business, and they may not understand that. And so those are the things that I think that are important to you. And learn about sales, learn about marketing, negotiation, learn about presentation, learn about the money, the cash flow, learn about branding your business, and things like that. So my name is Kwabena. Thank you very much for being with me. I come to you another time. Thank you.